So I've had some people ask me about this specific section of the machine. This is, of course, an injection molding machine, and this right here is the injection unit. So we're going to dive into this a little bit and talk about what specifically happens in this part of the machine. Right here we have the hopper, which sits right above the throat, and this is how the material is introduced into the barrel. This whole thing here is the barrel. Now, a barrel is basically a large hollow steel tube, and inside of that we have the screw. You can kind of think of a screw as it's similar to an auger, and it will rotate and push material forward. But what will happen is it will push forward a shot that exists in front of the screw. Let's dive in and take a look. All right, we're gonna look into this section of the machine. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can actually see the flutes of the screw. There we go. You see these little grooves? That is the screw. So if we take this screw out of the barrel, this is basically what we're looking at. This is the section we were looking at. So you can see that the distance between this minor diameter and this major diameter is pretty significant out here. But as you progress up the screw, this distance gets more compressed. There's a little less of a difference between these diameters as opposed to those diameters. And what happens is this pressure of the material is built up inside as it's being pushed down the screw. Now, this is really the business end of the screw. So all of the material that's going to come forward is in a molten liquid state. And it's all got to go through this little crack right here. It makes its way down to the center and then through these little portholes all the way around through this ring. This is called the check ring, and this is really what makes everything else work. So this material migrates into the front section of the barrel, and this meters up and pulls back as it does. And then what happens is when it's stopped at a certain distance, we wait for the mold to open up, the part drops out, and then this shot is ready to go. As this moves forward, this check ring is pushed back, and material cannot flow through this crack anymore, and all of this material is forced forward into the cavity of the mold. Now, this may not look like much, but when you're pushing material through there at about 10,000, 20,000 PSI, it really moves. So this ring will float back and forth in the injection process every single cycle. And that is what allows us to inject the material. So I hope that helps everybody understand the mechanisms behind the injection unit a little bit more. Well, that's all I've got for you today. But make sure you come back and check out the channel later because we're working on some really cool things. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get all our latest content. And remember, go out there and do something cool today.